Hi guys, so today is Sunday, 6th of April 2025, and this is 11 a.m. or 11 p.m. India time. And a lot of you are concerned because of what happened last week. What will happen tomorrow? Will it be a huge crash in Nifty? I don't know, but it seems so that the market is not going to open because of two reasons. One, the GIFT Nifty is down 400, 500 points, so we will see that on the open. And also, more importantly, the Saudi Arabia market, which you see on the screen right now, is down on Sunday because they are open on Sunday and they are down. So I don't see any reason why our market in India will be safe from this huge crash. So that's number one. Now, um, I know a lot of us are concerned, and I'm also concerned about my investments. But let's quickly look at what Nifty did in last few months or weeks and how you should be able to handle it. So, the top chart here, if you see it right, it is the it is an RSI, and the bottom one, and it's not the way Kite or Zerodha calculates RSI. It's a more sophisticated version. It is from stock charts, which I use. It's a paid app. So stock charts, when to buy, when to sell. I think Nifty will remain range bound for some time. It's a very bold statement to make. I don't think Nifty is just going to go 26,000 tomorrow. If you look at statements from big investors like Vijay Kedia, he recently said that Nifty can actually stay at 26,000 for next 2 years. God knows. I don't know. Nobody knows. But the point is that you should always buy low and sell high if you are not a momentum trader. Now, having said that, if you look at 5th of February, how we should have played it, or I mean, ideally, somebody would have sold in October. This is 27th of September, what you see on the screen. 27th of September, the market was at 26,200, very high market. And then it started to fall. Now, let's just look at last 4 5 weeks or 8 weeks, how it all panned out. I think ideally you should have bought on 4th of March 2025 around 22,000. That was the bottom. 22,000 on 4th and 5th of March. And then it went up 1800 points. I'm talking about Nifty, right? And then it went up 1800 points to 23,751. Let's say 23,800. And then the RSI was at 70. If you look here, the RSI was 70. And there, around end of February or beginning of March, RSI was uh, pretty low. It was 27, right? So now a lot of people have a question that they should exit the market. I don't think so. If you have to exit a stock, you should always exit when Nifty RSI is high, or there's a lot of greed in the market, or your stock um, gives you a bit of a bounce. So for tomorrow and for the days to come, I mean, tomorrow market will open at 23, 22, 300, 22, 300. I don't see that this bottom will be broken. God knows how it will all shape up. But 22,000, I think, should hold because there was a lot of buying at 22,000, especially in the banking stocks. You might see still some room left to grow because they have not grown for last 3 years. We'll make another video in next days on why you should be invested in banks, big banks like Kotak or HDFC or ICICI and so on. They give you a safety, at least for now. Market is not going to go up like crazy tomorrow, and therefore don't sell tomorrow. There is no point in selling tomorrow if you're a long term or even intermediate investor. If you're a short term trader, then you have to decide for yourself how you manage. But look for a little bit more greed in the market. Right now, there is a lot of fear in the market. And why do I say that? It's not just India, but also in the US. If you look at this chart, which tracks the greed and fear, this is for last 5 years, right? The blue line is the fear, and the lower it is, the more fear it is. So if you look at 4th of April, the fear is very high. And if you look at, let's say, 26th of December 2023, the greed was very high. So this keeps moving up and down, and the only way to make money is to invest. If you're a value investor, invest when the fear is high. A lot of people cannot do it. I'm also learning to control my emotions. I think people, investors, do that almost all their life. They have to train themselves to buy low and sell high. So the fear is high. Nifty is not going to go below 22. The Saudi market on Sunday during the day did not do much. So I don't think the Nifty is going to be spared tomorrow just because we are in some Ram Rajya kind of country. I don't think that we will be spared. We will be, we will definitely go down, at least at the open, and then we'll see how the market evolves. And the another thing which I think is very important, which I usually follow, and I think everybody should follow, is the number of stocks above and below 200 DMA. Let's say there are 1800 stocks. I want you to focus on only on the last two columns. So each row here is a date, and the yellow column tells you percentage of stocks above and below 200 DMA. So whenever it is below 50%, then you should not be in the market. So I think last 2 3 months it's mostly been below 50. So I think unless you are very adventurous, you should have, at least as a short-term trader or an intermediate swing trader, exited this market. It is at 15%. So 15% stocks are above 200 DMA, which I think is a very low number. Unless it hits 50, I'll not be in a position to be very confident about investing in this market. Then, um, another thing, now I'm switching to SPY, which is the US index for S&P 500. Very important. Now hear carefully. Whenever S&P 500 falls by 25%, a lot of hedge funds and US banks have issues. Now issues could be margins and all margin calls, and a lot of other stuff happens in the US. Whenever their stock market falls 25% from the top, it happened during COVID. We can see here in the chart. Where is this pie chart? Yeah, here is the pie chart, right? So look here, in COVID, this happened. February, March. February, it went down by 8%. You have to look at the box in the middle. That's where I read. And then in March, it fell down by 12.5%. So 20% in February and March. In total, it was around 25%. When it falls 25%, Fed comes in, or the US government comes in. So that is historically true. 25% crash in the US stock market is a big event. We are already down 17%. Now look here also, 2021, S&P was, or SPY ETF, it's like a Nifty for the US, was at 454. That is the January 2020. It fell 25% by October, and then it started to move up. So whenever you see a 25% drop in SPY, you should assume that we have bottomed. Right now, if you look at the last 3 months, we topped at around 611, and a 25% drop would take you to around 450, 460, around that area. So whenever 25% drop happens from the top, so right now we are looking at, let's say, December 2024. It started falling roughly in December 2024, and now around last 4 to 5 months have been really tough in the US market. And you now look at SPY, it is around 505. So I think around 450, 460, the market will stabilize. Fed will come in, print money. What will also happen is that Trump will step back from his rhetoric, or from his whatever aggressive stance on tariffs. I don't know what stupidity they're doing. I mean, they want to build shoes, make shoes and textile in the US. It's crazy. Anyhow, so 25% drop is usually a pretty good number when you can put in fresh money. So whenever the US market falls 25%, globally the markets are in a fear territory. We are 8% away from that. So even for Nifty, I would say that it will be a big thing if Nifty falls by 8% from where we are. So that would be around 20,000. It is possible. God knows it will happen or not. Right now, if you look at the Nifty chart here, um, R1 is the resistance one, which is 24,200. Then P is the level where it's a middle point. And then you have two supports, S1 and S2. And S1 we will hit tomorrow, which is 22,366. And then S2 is where I think you should just put everything into the stock market, which is 21. I know it's a pretty low number, but market can go there, 21,200. It's very important also to remember that the IT stocks have not been doing well because the export market has been hit with the tariffs and all the nonsense going on in the US. How do you handle it? You handle it by either staying in just bank Nifty because banks have not given much return in last 3 years and now they're expected to go up. If I look at the stocks which I am tracking, which I think are good from an intermediate perspective, also you have to buy them at the right level. Bajaj Finserv, which is a large NBFC, maybe around 1800 you can buy that. Bajaj Finance, you can buy it at 8400. It has been extremely strong if you look since January. Bajaj Finance, it didn't give you much return and suddenly it started to, even on Friday, it was actually up to 2%. Right? Bharti Airtel, they are clearly number one, number two player in India now on telecom. Everybody needs data. I don't think you will make a loss long term if you invest around 1650. iShare Motor is another interesting one because although it fell on Friday, but I think it will still be stable for long term because what they are selling does not actually get impacted because of the US. Tata Motors, Maruti, M&M. I know a lot of people are talking about M&M. I'm not so sure. Every auto industry, especially four wheelers, will be impacted hugely. You should invest in a two-wheeler stock, and Eicher Motor has a good brand when it comes to Royal Enfield, and also they have some other businesses. Overall, if you want to be in auto, Eicher Motor is the only stock where you should be. Then we come to HDFC Bank. Again, interesting one. You can buy it at 1750. Shree Cement. So cement also is one sector which is not impacted by the Trump tariffs. It's very local. Shree Cement and Ultratech Cement both are pretty good companies and they're big companies. And you can buy them. So Shree Cement you can buy I think around 29,000. It should be good. Maybe tomorrow you will see a 29,000. Mostly cement companies should not fall that much because they have not gone up that much also in last 2 3 years. Ultratech Cement also I think 11,000 is a pretty good level to get in, and it really came very strongly. If you look at the March, it came back up from 10,250. If you want to wait 10,250, you can. It is a big gap of 1,000 rupees. I think Ultratech Cement in very long term is a very good share at even at these prices if you have the ability to hold. Um, if you don't have the ability to hold and if you cannot see losses in your portfolio, then enter at 10,250. Then we talk about Shriram Finance. Shriram Finance is also pretty good stock. It's a big company. They are into financing, although they are into financing of auto stuff also. But 650 is what it's trading at, and I think a 10% drop from here will be a pretty big drop for Shriram Finance. I also have the stock in form of future. So Shriram Finance is one which you should definitely, I mean, it's a 12 PE stock. You can't get lower than that. And they're very well managed company. Kotak Bank, Indigo, another one, travel, everybody wants to fly. It was still up on Friday. A lot of foreign investors are actually very interested in Indigo to buy. They have been expanding internationally. Overall, I think it's a good stock. I think it's a little bit pricey, even at these levels, 5,100. I would be a happy buyer at 4,800. Then you have ICICI Bank. It will do well if you buy below 1,300. So these are the stock guys. I mean, There is also this defense stock, Majgaon. It is dependent. So there are some of the defense stocks like BEL, HAL, this one. They have been doing well since March. And for now, I would just wait and watch. I mean, if you get an urge to buy, then you can buy Mazgao Dock at 2300. But still, it is not something which I would suggest. So these are the few stocks which you can really keep a close watch on. If you have fresh capital to invest, you can invest. They are large companies. Most of them are 1 lakh crore market cap or above. And this is not the time to play with your money because I mean, in small cap, you never know when a company falls another 50%. It is all possible. But these companies are not going to fall 50%. It's very hard. The, the best thing about these companies, these 12 companies, they are very local. And you want to be in local companies which are not impacted by the Trump tariffs. Look at Ultratech Cement or Shree Cement. You know, you'll not import cement from from America. All the banks, then Bharti Airtel, reduce the number of stocks you trade in or you invest in for intermediate term. And even if you have to switch, you know, let's say Tata Motors is more risky. If you think that it will fall under 15, 20, 30%, then move to another auto stock, which is a little bit more safe. For example, Eicher Motors. And that way you can preserve your capital, right? Even for trading, these stocks are not bad. They are all in momentum. They are all above their 50 DMA. 50 DMA here is the red line. So typically in momentum strategies, you say that you would only stay in the stock if it's above 50 DMA. If you look at all the red lines, all the stock prices are above above their 50 DMA. So at least for last 2 months, they have not shown any weakness. So this is the stock specific thing. I also wanted to share a few other things with you, like what I think about the whole Trump tariff thing. But we'll do another video for tomorrow. I think the strategy should be the don't panic because of this chart, which is that if you look at the RSI dipped for Nifty on 3rd of March and it went up to 70 on 25th of March. It is around 45 now. You should wait till it goes to 70, 72 and then clean up your portfolio. Because if you clean up your portfolio when there is a lot of fear and panic in the market, unless you think that the company will go bust or some other exceptional thing, but in general, try and wait for a bounce to clean up things, to sell stuff. If you don't like the stock, let's say if you don't like Tata Motors, do you want to sell tomorrow? I don't know. But you definitely want to clean up your portfolio whenever Nifty index goes up and its RSI hits 70. So this is a short video for today. I think tomorrow is not going to be the best day in our investing journey, but that's how markets are. They go up and down. Overall, I think markets for next 6 7 months will stay range bound. So you can get some opportunity in buying low, selling high, buying low and buying low, selling high, and so on. Um, Also, I would also warn you to not get into too much of option business because this is a time when sometimes fear is high, sometimes greed is high, and so on. So you will find that all the fin influencers or a lot of people who just want to make money out of you will be active. So have confidence in your own strategy and buy low, sell high. Even for momentum stocks, they will give you a pullback and you can enter in the pullback. Let's say HDFC Bank, don't enter at 1850. Enter when it is around 1700 or 1750 or around 50 DMA. So that is what a lot of the institutional investors, I used to work for Fidelity, by the way. So a lot of institutional investors actually wait for 50 DMA to make an entry. And 50 DMA is just technically average of last 50, price average of last 50 days, right? And it happens every 50 days. So every 2 months, you get an opportunity to buy a stock if you have the cash. So this is the video, and I hope you liked it. I'll do a pre-market and a post-market also. Pre-market and a post-market video is something which I want to do. It is a lot of work for me. I mean, I'm trading stocks and investing in stocks only for myself, but I'm just doing this now for fun, and I'll continue to do this. A lot of people have made a lot of losses, and a lot of big investors and famous ones like Prasanna Maheshwari and Saurabh Mukherjee and all that, who have a lot of knowledge about the market, have also made losses. So it's not unusual to make losses in the market. We all make losses, and over a long period of time, you will make profits. And the best way to play the market is through mutual funds. If you do not want a day-to-day tracking of the market, but a lot of people don't do it, and they invest in individual stocks, and that's also fine. Um, so that is the video for today. Overall summary is that markets will open lower, but do not panic and do not sell in panic. Sell when the RSI for Nifty goes above 70. I think we will move back to 24,000 sometime around 2025, calendar year 2025. I don't know when that will happen. I even don't know when, if that will happen, but there is a high probability that we will gain 10% somehow during the next 12 months. And you will get an opportunity to exit some of your stocks if you want to. So that is the video for today. That's 6th of April. Um, we'll talk about tariffs tomorrow. See you guys.